my video, then show on the screen. Okay. And there we go. I think we have it now. How's that?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Now the question is can we be heard on YouTube? I can hear it, but it's really faint. So let me post the URL for this in our, okay. That's the URL. And I'll actually check on my phone as well. How's everyone doing while we get this figured out?
I'm good. How are you? How was your weekend?
Oh, good.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
How was your weekend?
I was.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
How was your weekend?
Okay, so I managed to generate a feedback loop. So that's a sign that I can sort of be heard. So yeah, I'm good. How was your weekend?
It was good too.
Good.
A bit. Here in our city, the core price is really increasing. So
Oh,
yeah, we are scared. Like almost all family members were sick. Like,
wow.
yeah. But this time it's not very bad. Like we all recovered in, I guess, just one day. It was not very bad.
Okay. Well, I hope it works out well. I mean, with us, it's starting to slow down a bit.
Works out.
Well, actually, no, it depends on where you are in the US. So I shouldn't say it's starting to slow down. Okay, so for those of you who are coming in, my name is Daniel Roy Greenfeld, and I am joined now by Akash and Prathamesh. We are working on the Django core version of A Wedge of Django or Django Crash Course. This is something that Audrey has been working on with Akash and Prathamesh, and I've just come in at the last bit to, I guess, kind of be play tester and also just see how things go and help get it across the finish line. So say hi, Akash and Prathamesh.
Hi everyone, I am Pratmesh.
I don't know how many people are watching. It's probably like 6. So that's okay. I'm gonna share chat so I can see. Yeah, no one's on. I'm not publishing this just as we kind of figure out how this works. I'm gonna try switching microphones and tell me if you can hear me better. Let's see. I'm gonna switch to. Is this microphone better?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll use this microphone. Okay, so the goal. So we have 2 goals that we're gonna get through today, hopefully. One is to go through the Django crash course, just the coding part, not the setup section, just to make sure that there's no glaring issues or bugs or installation problems. And this is just something you have to do, especially with tutorials, because otherwise it'll trip people up as they're trying to learn. And Akash and Prathamesh have been working on this version for longer than I have. So we'll see how they've done. And this version of A Wedge of Django, we just decided to, bring some other people on board and help us get across the finish line. So thank you, Akash and Prathamesh.
It was really fun, the book bringing in. Yeah.
Awesome. And for the huge audience, I think there's 4 people watching, and that might just be us double checking our data. The thing is they're paid. They're not volunteers. That's not Audrey and I don't believe in doing that. So okay, so tell you what, I'm gonna get through this as fast as I can, and then we'll get over the logistic stuff like the book building and other things. So let's see. So practice deactivating and reactivating accounts. I know that we're doing PyEnv and Conda. One of the things I noticed was perusing this shortly beforehand is just the fact that we have two sets of commands, and that's just because Audrey really liked Conda. I mean, she really likes PyEnv, and I prefer Conda. So this is more her book. So um, that's why you see this doubling of things. And let's see, where's my shell? Here we go.
Actually, sir, so I updated the dependencies in the local.txt and base.txt. So, do you mind updating them, because like it is worth checking them with the new versions that are in, because I faced some problems regarding the functions
Are
when I
you
was
talking
trying them.
about in the Django Crash Starter?
Yeah, I didn't create a pull request though, but in the resources I have the files, which
So you modified this file. You're
the
saying,
base and local, yeah, the base in the
but you said
requirements
you
folder.
didn't create a pull request. So
Yeah.
how do I update this?
So actually, in the resources channel in the Discord, we are like I have.
Oh, okay, I see. So I see. Okay. Uh, so you're saying I should. Um, okay, I see what you did. So I'm going to share this with our friends out there in the world. We have, this is, I guess, which file is this? This would be the core.en, a base.txt.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's, tell you what, let's update this just and see what happens.
I'm scared. Like if we want to do that directly in the
No,
repo.
so just, I know you're thinking, oh my God, you're committing to master branch. But we do need to test, and we can modify it once we hit it if we run into any
Mhm.
glaring issues. The other thing is that, uh, so and this is in which file? This will be in local.txt, is my guess. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
local.txt. The thing is we, um, so is PsychoPG, is is Windows still a thing to worry about? Because I noticed that you got rid of this line right here. See, this is a new version, and see how there's no checking for Windows. Is that accurate?
Actually, so the type DST error we were getting, that thing is solved, but there are some subtle differences and things which like I want to discuss. So MyPy and Django stubs. So here it says that the MyPy, it doesn't support Django for until now. I have posted the link to the repo. It says that the latest version, like these two dependencies were the things which were crashing the type AST, I guess.
Ah, okay. Tell you what, why don't we see what happens when we try it? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But what you are saying is that the PsychoPG 2 has a binary now that works with Windows. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, so keep in mind if this breaks Prophemesh, that we do have a commit history. That this is one of the reasons why we use Git, and so yeah, am I being a bit adventurous? Absolutely, but actually, this might be screwing over like people actually trying to use this. So
Yeah.
maybe this isn't really the right way to do things. Tell you what, let me revert this. Yeah, tell you what, I'll fix this afterwards, and just get it working soon. Or you know what I should have done is I should have created another version of this called Django Crash Starter 4. But I'll take care of that after this call, just because I think there's this session, just because there's other things that we should be doing. Okay, what's this?
Yeah.
Again, the
So
Django stubs issue. Okay, so let's just see what happens. I'm gonna go through this and clean this up and try it out. So we're gonna do the hello Django thing first, and that's just to see if it works. And I do Conda because I really like Conda. It just works on every device I use. So um, okay, so I've activated the Hello Django environment, and I can Conda here. Let me blow this up. I'll decrease the size of the shell box so it fits. How's that? Can you all see that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So there we go. So we have hello. That's working, and we've already so deactivate. Okay, so that's what I have to do. Conda deactivate. So unfortunately, the best way to do this is to break up. Hey, here's the here's the Windows section. Here's the PyEnv section. So that was one of the nice things about just being on Condas. We only had one set of instructions. So Conda activate load Django. Okay, and then pip install Django. Okay, and so we're going to see something like
Actually, are we going to test both PyEnv and Conda on macOS?
I don't have a computer handy that I'm willing to install PyEnv just because I personally always have issues with PyEnv. But next time I'll have a computer ready for that. So now we're checking the Django version. That part works. And that's just the same mechanisms that Conda uses to install these requirements, since it's pure Python, are pretty much the same as pip and other things. Actually, we are using pip, so I lied. Okay, chapter 6. So we're going to generate hello Django. So we're going to do Django. Oh, which directory am I in? Oh, CD. Okay, so now we're going to get rid of this. Just something I was playing with earlier.
Joined.
So Akash, hey.
Hi. My mic was not working till now. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Okay, so Django admin works, and then we're gonna do Django admin start project, and we're gonna do hello Django, and now we're going to start up VS Code on that environment, and so I'm gonna trust the authors of the files. So we now see what's in here, and if I do a tree on this, okay, so if I do a tree on this, we can see that this is the structure of files that we have. Hello Django, and this will match here. And tree is a command that's available. I think you can. It comes with Linux and Mac, or maybe you can install with like brew install or apt-get install. I think with Chocolatey you can also get it on Windows, but it gives you a really nice, pretty structure of what you're doing. Okay, so now we're going to look at manage.py. So what? Why is that not? Maybe. Well, it's weird that it wasn't showing up. Okay, so hold on. Just Okay, so this is the manage.py file. I'm going to close it, get started. And so this is pretty much what we expect. It hasn't changed in years for Django. Now what we want to do is we're going to look for Django's constants, which are in the settings file. So I'm not sure why the search isn't working on this. Okay, so here's the secret key, and you can see here is it starts with Django insecure. Well, I'm never going to be using this outside of this little quick project. Debug is equal to true, and we can review the other settings, but we're okay. All right, so let's go to chapter 7. Okay, so I did notice right here there's a to-do.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any reason why this is called to-do?
I guess Audrey ma'am said that she would review stuff regarding this. I guess, but I may have commented on it.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. So there we go. And then what is the significance of secret key? A Prathamesh that's described right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this if that's okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Woohoo, we closed out a ticket. Oh, and there, to explain this file in a bit more detail because manage.py seems very powerful. I think one of the things is manage.py is like the core of Django, and to go explain it is, and what you can do with it is like either we include it or we write quite a bit about it. And so I'm not sure what to do here.
Yeah, maybe we just like it's good how it is actually, because I was very excited when I started reading it. Like
Yeah,
everywhere there was manage.py, like it's the source of the commands that we type in. So yeah.
yeah. But you do raise a good point. Does it make sense to display it here? And I don't really know the answer. I think this block right here is good enough. That's what Audrey wrote years ago, so we'll just put that there.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think there's another comment up here. Yeah, we need code highlighting here. Here we go. Okay. Let's scroll down. Okay. So create a Django super user. I'm just going to scan through this because I know all this stuff works. Copy your password in the password manager. Yep. This should come first. I think what we're missing here is the $sign. Or do we even do $signs? I think we stopped doing that. What is the significance of a Django super user? So the significance of a Django super user is that ordinary users will not be able to access the admin.
Yeah.
So this should come first. I think so. No, I'm glad you put all this stuff in because it's good to ask questions because it's forcing me to think. Okay, we're going to get, don't worry, Prathamesh, we'll soon be on the requirements really fast. Okay, so if run server isn't on, restart in the shell. I think all of this stuff is pretty straightforward. Grammarly, oh, you're right, it is Grammarly ambiguous. Agreed. So I think we can just get rid of, we covered that in the next, okay. So yeah, because it's, yeah, I think that's good. And we might, should we add stay tuned or no, let's just stick with, we covered that. in the next section. One thing that's important is when you're writing professionally like this is keeping things concise, that you can spend a lot of time and energy adding unnecessary words that just take up people's time reading. Okay, so that's all straightforward. Familiarize yourself. Oh, because I have UK spellings on. Okay, generate a homepage app. Python manage a PyStart app. This is pretty straightforward. Yeah, a lot of the things that you're raising in here are covered, like why this type of structure in Django app versus project. And so that's covered there. But I'm glad that you wrote it down because these are notes. And the question is are we covering all of this stuff? We can write about how we can use apps as a method of abstraction. Which is in think of them as abstractions of components of logic. Okay, awesome. Thank you for bringing that up because that got me to add a sentence.
Actually, so like when we first started reading the book, so we didn't knew that it was some parts were explained later in the book, and that they were beautifully explained. So pardon us for some things like which we have written. Like we want to know this and that. But,
yeah. No worries. I want to see if there's anyone on Twitch watching. Just mildly curious because I see that two people are watching. What? Why? One thing I can't stand about Twitch is you come there and they like default with stuff that's on. Okay, so it says I'm live. Let's see if there's anybody watching. And of course, there's a commercial. So maybe there's people watching. Okay, well, I'm not going to put us through 26 seconds of ad. Okay, prepping the project for templates. Before we can start writing views, this is a good question. Are views covered anywhere else in this chapter? No. I know templates are Python objects, classes that represent what's a view? A view is that's a hard question. Python classes that represent a URL endpoint that use templates. We need to, there we go. We tell a little bit about templates. That's a good question. Ooh, what are templates? Templates in this case are used to generate HTML, which is what browsers read in order to display web pages. There we go. Okay, so this is all nothing strange. So one of my pet peeves with Python, I don't want to be like antagonistic to Python, is Pathlet overwrites the slash. And I didn't want to write, like, we had people asking questions about it, and rather than try to explain it, We just send people to Pathlib. And if you are confused by this, you are not the only one. My little secret is for months I couldn't figure out Pathlib, or maybe it was a month, maybe it was years, or maybe it was days. But I just remember being so frustrated with Pathlib because it didn't use standard Python concatenation techniques, and so it's unfortunate that so much of like the Django world relies on Pathlib. It's something I disagree with. So that's why we foisted it off onto Pathlib, because we couldn't figure out how to explain it in a way that made sense. So
Yeah.
okay, so we give her some Python basics. Add an index view. Let's check this. Um, yeah, yeah, I could write a whole rant about that one. Okay, so can be more clear, like removing contents. Open the views, remove the content that is there uh, of of the file, and replace done. Okay, good point. Um, more info about homepage subclass template view built-in views, which we can inherit from. We use these built-in views the rest of the book. The template view ties a template to a view. There we go. We're not going to do a period because we have to be consistent. Get to know Django URL routing. What is I'm trying to right now there's only one item in the URL patterns list, a URL pattern for admin that corresponds to Django admin URL, which we saw earlier. When the browser requests a page starting with admin, it gets routed by the server to admin.site.urls. Um, uh, uh, and which is the set of classes that publish Django's famous built-in admin system. Okay, that are not published. Okay, so add a URL path. Too much of a gap here. Oh yeah. Oh no. How do we?
Yeah, we actually, so there are some weird bugs that we like found in Google Docs. Like we just can't fix them. I don't know if that's our error, like paging margin and stuff. But there are some things that we
Yeah,
like.
I don't know how to fix this one. Yeah, I'm not gonna. We'll just leave it for now and maybe figure out doing under its callbacks analogous to a function. Django calls this object by passing HTTP request. Oh, that shouldn't be backticks. Good evening, John Mons. Okay, the callable object is analogous to a function. Django calls this object by passing a HTTP request generated by the user, and then the object returns an HTTP response. Django supplies the HTTP response back to the user. Yeah, this is one of those things where you say it the first time, and then through repetition, hopefully by the end of the book, people understand it. So that's why
Yeah,
we have this follow-up paragraph. Um, there are some things when we've taught this in person, and we're like, okay, don't get hung up on this particular tip, and there's some other things like that. Just just follow along, and then things will make sense. That you need to like actually practice it for this concept of the simple loop. What the request and response loop is, and that's what the Hello World Django thing is for. So double check the code, wire in the URL. I love that term. Template does not exist. This is a code example, so whatever you typically use there. Did you want to fix that, Prathamesh?
Yeah, I'll fix it.
Okay. If we see the above arrow, okay, fair enough. I'm usually suspicious of Google grammar checks, but I'm going to take that one. Okay. I thought every cheese started sooner before this. Hey, hi, Najor yourself. I haven't seen you in a while. Okay, so DB3 SQLite is missing. So Sahil, I think, were you trying this on Windows or on Linux? Because if you're doing on Linux, oh, I see. This might not be necessary. And then on starting server, it should look like this. It won't necessarily look perfectly like that. Oops, I didn't want to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark this as okay. Add index template, run server. How does this process? Oh my god, how does this process work behind the scenes? So here's the thing, Prathamesh. I know how Django class-based views work. Most people working with them don't know how class-based views work. And in fact, what's his name? Tom. He's the guy who did Django as framework. He created Django vanilla views, which greatly simplifies it. The way Django views are constructed are really complex, and this is one where I could write a book about like the concepts that go behind it. So as much as I'd like to describe how this works all behind the scene, basically what the way Django views work, I'll give it to you really quick, and you maybe you understand. The way Django class-based views work is they, you call them as view, which is actually returns a callable, which essentially it makes the class a function. Well, that's an oversimplification, but it turns it into a function, and that function as an argument accepts an HTTP request and it returns an HTTP response. And I've given talks about this. Maybe I'll give it again sometime, like how the response or the request and response render view. But the thing is it's complex enough that it's out of the scope of this book. Let's see if I can't. Again, this is for me. John, I'm so happy our books have helped you. It's for people who for people like you. I had the benefit of working. Audrey and I had the benefit of studying and learning from like some amazing people, and so we got to stand on the shoulders of giants. And the whole purpose of the books was to make it so that way people who didn't have the opportunities that we have of like working in the office in Lawrence, Kansas, or in the offices in Lawrence, Kansas, like that's why we created the books, is to disseminate that knowledge. And now a lot of it's like actually in the Django docs, but for a while people were like, why are you even writing this? People should be able to figure this out for themselves. And it's like, if you're not in the room, how are you going to figure out this, some of the secret sauce of Django? Okay, so let's see, there's this. This is correct. Maybe after this we can add Revenard. I do not disagree. Let me say that a lot more clearly. I agree with you, Revenard. You have to look at the source code. Unfortunately, Django class-based views source code is a bit mungy. The docs, the first set of docs were written, and then the code was written to that specification. And the way it came out is a little bit kludgy in places. I mean, once you know it, it's like a superpower. But that's why Tom Christie, created a Django REST framework in Starlet. He created Django vanilla views to make it easier to read through the code. And it's basically a flatter inheritance structure. Nice. Note the context as a Python dip my statement is key, and nice to see you is this course. I'm not really sure, but the code is up there. Okay, so indent code per the examples. Oh, nice. I like that you change it to a warning box. Smart, because you're right. It does. If your indentation is wrong, and like one of the things is like when you I swear this like happens all the time. And if any of my coworkers at Octopus Energy are listen in on this, the super common mistake people make when I'm looking at their code and working with them and screen sharing with them is that they'll mess up the indentation. And the reason why they're doing it is they're just starting a new job and they're nervous and they're trying to impress everybody and they always get indentation wrong. So I mean, it's completely understandable. I sympathize and I get super patient because I know what it's like to be like first day on the job and have jitters and you're terrified and like you're worried that any mistake and you're going to get fired. Okay, so this is good. Calling functions from templates. This is getting a little bit fancier and showing a little bit of tricks you can do with templates. I actually love this technique. Why do we need to use view say by? Why not say directly say by as we did for variables which we inserted directly? I don't think you can do that unless they change the API. I thought if you because see say by it's an attribute on the class. Yeah. So I think view.sayBy is necessary. Also, the other thing is by doing view.sayBy, it's more explicit. So even if like this, just doing sayBy would work, by specifying view.sayBy, you know exactly where that code's coming from. And especially in a large code base, that can be super important. So I think Revenard, I think I created those method flowcharts. Let me see. I know I should be focusing on the docs, Django, docs, CBVs. I think that was the 2013 coding sprints. We should be looking at the reference, right? Let's see. Where's the reference? Reference documentation. Let's grab form view, method flow charts. I would have to really dig in and look. But this I think I started this in 2013. Yeah, but before, so there Django class-based views when they first launched where the documentation was in an odd state. And so it was really hard to understand how CBVs work. So me and Audrey and who else? Andrew Ingram. Wow, he's a really smart guy. He does more React these days, but we worked together and we basically in the course of 3 days we like set the pattern for Django class-based view documentation, and it really was a triumph of a group of people with the mission to improve it. So how's a view method different from context data? So this explains it. Okay. Next steps. I don't think that's anything here. Yep. Okay. Prepare the every cheese. So some of you are wondering, like, oh my God, how can I go through this fast? I'm one of the authors, so a lot of this, like, I dream about some of this stuff. Oh, that's right, because this was converted from Markdown. So I don't think we're going to be able to do links in this book generation system. So we're just going to get rid of this. Okay. Would it be make virtual env? I think I want to leave virtual env. We're going to leave the environment stuff till later. And Revenar, I'm so glad we could have helped you. Create a new virtual. Yep. Okay, so here we go. We are about to create our every cheese environment. Let's activate. Oops. Okay, so conda create -n every cheese Python equals 3.n, and we're going to proceed. Okay, there we go. An important message about pre-existing virtual environments. That's good. We've activated. We have every cheese. So now we're on to chapter 18. You excited, Prathamesh, at the prospect
Yeah,
of
very much.
everything?
This is where the fun part begins.
Okay, so we're going to install Cookie Cutter. Okay, so, all right, so I think we're going to hold off on this because I'm a little bit curious about, so there's Cookie Cutter, and then, so what these index are, that is when you are generating index in LaTeX, this is the script. And in our Markdown, which the previous edition of this book was written in, this is how you specify it. If you know LaTeX and are familiar with the index package, this will be very familiar. So these can just be trashed. Hey, Ethan, this isn't docs. This is a book that we're updating for Django 4. So that's what this is doing. It's a version control repository, such. This is a version control repository containing a bunch of files on a service like GitHub. There we go. Thank you for specifying that, Sahil. Sahil is taking his exams, so he's not around. So yeah. Ethan, if you want to, so here's the thing. We're all getting paid to work on this. Prathamesh, Akash, and I are. And so, because this is like for a 4-pay project, if you want to give it a go, then like try it out, this tutorial. We can talk about making you a tester if you want. And basically what you would do in return is just, let us know what goes right and what goes wrong. And so if Prathamesh, is that you, Prathamesh, who just wrote that?
No, he's my friend, but he has the same name as me.
Oh, okay, that's great. Prathamesh, yeah, okay. All right, so yeah, if you want to participate, then just say the word. You just say, I want to test, and then what we'll do is we'll figure out how to get your information, or maybe what we need to do is set up a Discord for this, for testing, because we're going to need that anyway to provide support for people, especially if we're doing PyEnv, because yeah, people are going to ask for it. Okay, so let's do Cookie Cutter. Okay, so, and for reference, Cookie Cutter is an amazing project that was started by Audrey, who is also my wife, and she's a co-author. So your name here. Oops, that might break. I will just do SQLite just to keep things simple. Okay. All right. So if I go into every cheese, here we go. So where's the comment for this? So Ethan, Ethan and Prathamesh, would you like to be testers of this? But we'll see if they respond. So that's right, Prathamesh. So that's Prathamesh Agrawal, and you are Prathamesh Desai. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, and then cookie cutter of background, cookie cutter background. That's what that word should be. Okay, that's fair. Okay, so we're gonna explore it. I think that actually isn't installing. I think that's just searching through it. Nope. And then starting our new Django project. Here we go, Prathamesh. Okay, so we're CD into every cheese. Now it's install the dependencies. Are you ready?
Actually, before we do that, do you mind like updating the local.txt in in your actually with the updated version? So like at least we even if we don't merge it now in the main repository, but like we can test it out here locally, the
Okay,
updates.
so what did you want me to update?
So yeah, so let's just update the local.txt and this.txt.
This already matches what you posted in the resources channel, unless you posted something new. Nope.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't see that. Like you already updated it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna give this a quick try, and we'll see what happens. And I might have to roll back the changes I made in GitHub, which I should probably have done a little bit differently. I just realized it's 6:52, so we're running low on time. So Prathamesh and Akash, what do you think of this format of having doing it this way instead of in a private Discord?
Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
way.
Okay,
It's
awesome.
more interactive.
So nothing's breaking so far. I'm pretty happy with that.
It's Windows where magic happens.
I wonder if it works in it fails on Conda on Windows, correct?
Now like the dependency stuff, it's working now. Fix the issues it like the local.txt does get installed properly, but the coverage.py like testing stuff is not working. There are issues in the code thing. Like it says
Okay.
yeah.
Can you do me a favor and submit a pull request that fixes the stuff that I just pushed up that breaks stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, awesome, lovely. Okay, so okay, so there's what's that different? Oh, because the backslash is different. That's right. Oh, and we don't have. Yeah, we need to bring in the indexes and link them. And then we're using, I think, so our good friend in the root directory, there are two files. So copy env sample Mac or Linux, and then we do copy it to .env. That's right. So this was something that Fabio added in 2020 because he really likes this approach. And I guess it's the cool thing these days. So, and I'm not using Postgres locally. And maybe I should have. Okay, well, tell you what, we only have a few minutes. Prathamesh and Akash, were you working on the book rendering process, or was that just Sahil?
It was
Oh,
Akash
it's
actually.
Oh,
yeah.
Akash.
It's done.
Akash, do you want to share your screen and show us? Actually, let me start over. Does does the book rendering system work yet?
Yeah, it's perfectly done.
Oh, you want to show it? I'd love to see it. I'm so excited.
Oh, I can show you.
Okay, let me hide my screen. Okay, and then whenever you're ready.
Entire screen. Okay.
So yeah.
Akash joined.
Can
Okay.
you?
Yep. Whoa, infinite loop. And eh, isn't I haven't seen the newest Spider-Man movie yet. I heard it's really good.
So, uh, to first we have to download all the uh, doc files
Okay.
to PDF. So, uh, and to download the PDF, I have write a. Let me show the repo.
Okay.
I have made a README. I think it's
Excellent. Readmes are my best friend. I mean, if you think about it, two scoops of Django is really just a giant README for for Django.
so I wrote this to uh, for the first time user. It is very difficult for the first time user to get set up for the Google developer. So do I have
That's right.
to do this from start, or should I show the output?
I would show the output and just see. Let's take a look and see how it's working.
Okay. I wrote a Google app script, uh, which gave us all the um, file IDs. Uh, let bit.
Where is this repo? GCC
It's it's
G dot
a
canons.
I made a branch because I wasn't able to
Oh, okay.
fork it. In the Google app script, we have to just I already just did this. So this is the folder ID of the chapters folder,
Okay.
uh, and when we run this, we will get an output. Okay.
Okay, it's really straightforward. I love straightforward code.
I actually this is HTML view. Why it is not showing the output? Oh, this. Yeah.
And this is getting all
So
the
we
so
will
that
get
gets all the
all.
files.
Yeah. Like this is the name of the doc file, and this is its ID. And then we copy this and paste it in a um, list.py, which
Okay.
will convert it into a CSV file, and then with the help of CSV file we download the we will download the
So do
export
you
the.
call list.py directly, or is that called from another file?
Sorry.
The list.py module that you have,
Hmm.
is that do you call that from the command line or
No,
uh,
it will be called from download.py.
okay. So just to understand that list is I think it's a reserved word in Python. So
Okay,
it is a little bit weird. Don't change it now. Like don't change it in the middle of the demo. Just some feedback for you. Okay.
okay, I will. Oops. So it will start downloading the file, which is
Nice.
there are 64 files, and today my net is slow, so it will take time. I think it will
But you
check
already
through.
have the files, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You can. Okay, good. You just skipped it.
So we have all the files exported,
Nice.
and now uh, let's merge them, or I think we should merge them and then we add page numbers.
Okay. Let's see it in progress. So for those of you who are watching, this kind of stuff is a finicky process. So if you've ever like dealt with like document rendering and stuff like that, it's fun, but it's finicky. You know what I mean, Akash?
No.
What I mean is it's fun to do, but you have to get
Yeah,
like there's
we do
no
them
margin
too
for
manually.
error. It's and it can be very fragile. So
Then I in this directory I pasted all the uh, PDF I want to merge,
okay,
and then I will just run the script, which is PDF merger.js,
okay.
and then it will give me
Let
output.pdf.
me see the output. I'm so excited. Yes, look at that, 328 pages. That's awesome.
And let's add page numbers.
Let's do
I will
it.
go. Let me just. Is it visible? The enter the path of the PDF file you
Okay.
want to edit. So
Nice. I love how you have the progress bar. Did you add that yourself?
yeah, no, it's a library called TMQL,
Right, but you use that library to render the progress bar. That's really nice to do stuff like that.
yeah.
It's good UI.
Um, what should be the name of the output file? Let's say uh, output.pdf.
Sure. Did you need to add PDF at the end? Nope.
No,
Add it.
it will end by
Okay.
default.
And then let's see. Uh-oh. Hey, it's a live demo, everyone. Is the file corrupted or oh no, there we go. Look at that. We have page numbers.
That's great.
So what this means is when the book goes live and we have people like going into the Discord that we're going to set up to handle like support requests, Akash and Prathamesh and the others who are working,
Hmm.
and Audrey and the others who are going to be working on this, and someone says, hey, on page 53 I can't figure out this particular thing, we'll know exactly where they are. And so to me this is such a good thing to see, so thank you for adding that.
And now let's add metadata.
Oh, you're adding metadata. Is that based off of that article I wrote?
Yeah.
Haha. Okay. So from start to finish, if you weren't like eating up your bandwidth giving us a demo, this probably takes you about 10 minutes to render a book, right?
Hmm.
And given a little bit of time, you could have it run from beginning to end all on its own. Like you just sit back and watch, which is really important because once we release the book to our readers, we're going to want to do frequent updates as people say, "Hey, this part isn't working," or whatever. So, um,
Okay. Should I continue?
Yeah, continue. Go, please. We're all eagerly watching. Nice.
So
Oh, you know what? Your
it
subject
did.
is wrong. It says covers Python 3.8. It should be Python
Yeah.
3.10.
I can change this in metadata.
Yeah, lovely.
Also
Oh,
the for Django 4
it's
is not
Django
that.
4. It's Django 4. Awesome. Yeah, modern Django, modern Python. Not this old 3.8 stuff and Django 3 stuff.
So we have a output file with
Awesome.
this is the metadata.
Excellent. Um, cool. And we also need to figure out the right place to put you all in, you know, so that way you're also part of the book. Although Audrey and I are the primary authors, you all have contributed a lot. And if you know Audrey and I, we believe in giving people credit for what they do. That's something. It's called attribution. It's very important to us. Um, okay, awesome. Okay, cool. Well, between now and Wednesday, if you want to polish that up and just, I mean, it works, but I know that you're probably thinking of ways to improve it, and
Mhm.
just and document it better, so that way, like if it's finals, if it's exams a week for you, we're not saying, hey, gosh, stop studying and help us. I don't want, well, we're not going to do that, but I want to be able to like let you go and study. That's important to us, um, as you know, because Sahil isn't here because he's at exams.
Mhm.
All right, Prathamesh, is there anything you wanted to show before we called it in? For you, I know for you all it's the day, but for me it's the night.
Yeah, so actually, so after fixing the typed AST error, there's one error that I'm hitting while like proceeding in the book, and I don't really know how to proceed. So, do you
Okay,
mind if I show it?
yeah,
Yeah.
let's see it. Let's quickly debug. We have like a few minutes because I'm supposed to be off already.
Yeah. So, screen. Let's go.
Prathamesh joined.
Okay, and
So, is the
then
screen visible?
yep. So
Yeah.
you are
So,
now, you're now live to the world.
yeah. So,
Our
here.
massive audience of 4 people.
Okay. So, okay. So when I'm running Python, when it's .py, I think the coverage thing. I don't exactly remember. I think to run it, it's I'll check it out. The coverage. Akash, do you remember? Just a second.
Yeah, take your time.
It's the command to run the tests. I don't know why the folder's not opening. I think it was coverage. PY. I don't know.
The folder open.
Yeah. Yeah. So this command, it
Okay.
yeah here
Yeah.
it's saying that the faker object has no attribute generate, and that's very weird because I have downloaded the latest version of Factory Boy, and like everything is working elsewhere, but particularly in Windows, it says that this thing is not correct. It doesn't have any attribute called generate,
Okay.
and and I'm really stuck about it. Like I tried to find solutions, but there's no good things which I came up with, and I really don't know how to proceed from here.
Okay. I think what we should do, okay, in the short term, I think I need to revert the changes I made to the cookie cutter template back to what it was because we know that in theory works. And then what we can do is we can plan to dive into this on Wednesday, and I can replicate your error and start diving in. And we might just have to
Yeah.
roll back. Um, uh, we might need to just roll back a few things. Like we'll just roll back things until we get it working, and see what happens. One of the things is
Yeah.
that Django and Django 4 and Python 3.10 are new enough that we might just have glitches, and the only problem is this is a big one. So we'll see.
Yeah. And the second thing, which which it's the Django stub thing. So yeah, I wanted to show this. Like it says that it supports. Like it does. It says that higher version 3.7, but it says 3.2.x Django version supported, and the MyPy version. So these are like when I tried to install them as a dependency using the require like the local.txt file, they are not even getting installed. They say that this version is not available, and that's weird. So
Wow. Can we check the date on this README and just see what the date when the last time was updated? So slow down, stop.
okay,
Scroll up just a little bit. Where's
okay.
the README? So it was updated 7 days ago, huh? And this is
Yeah.
what library is this? This is my
It's my yeah. It stubs for Django. It's a dependency, and I
right.
guess
Hmm.
I think it's in the local.txt.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this thing. And the crazy thing is that the version, like the particular versions of Django stuffs, depends on particular versions of MyPy. So yeah, so I should
Do
remove this
we
thing. But
need? So my question is do we need MyPy and Django stubs for this? Like, is this necessary for? Like, I'm trying to figure out where this is necessary, and that's something maybe on Wednesday we can dive in and see if we can remove this dependency.
yeah,
Because like I don't think we cover types at all in
hmm,
Django, and they're really useful. Don't I don't remember actually requiring like mentioning like MyPy and stuff like that at all. So
yeah, okay. So like, how should I proceed for the tasks now? Because like I'm kind of stuck here. So should I
so
proceed with the book and leave the testing?
so here this is what I suggest you do is see if you can remove MyPy and Django stubs
Okay. Yeah.
and see what happens. Maybe it's a requirement for
Mhm.
coverage MyPy, but I don't think so. But I could be wrong. Um,
Okay.
so I think we all have stuff we can do. So
Yeah.
all right, thank you so much, and same time on your Thursday morning, my Wednesday night.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, take care.
Yeah. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.